Hello and welcome back to the channel. It feels so good to be saying this properly and back with another breakdown. We cover everything Hogwarts Legacy on this channel, so if it's something you're interested in, then please consider subscribing because we make videos about every single bit of news that comes out around the game. But we also do cover anything Wizarding World, so stick around if that's anything you're interested in. This week has been an incredible week for Hogwarts Legacy. We got the gameplay showcase 2, which was unbelievable. The amount of stuff in this game honestly blows my mind. And we also got a really fun and exciting moment for me where I was invited to be part of a podcast with some of the Hogwarts Legacy content creator royalty. It was so much fun, and if you've missed it, please go check it out. I will leave a link in it below, and it is linked on a Podcast Now's channel. Now I've broken this video down into 3 sections. The first section is going to be based on the flight and the exploration section of the video that we got, and then I will do 2 further videos that's going to be based around the combat and then the room of requirement information. There is so much in this video that I thought it would be easier to break it into 3 sections, and I'll release it all as one part for everyone at the end as well. But let's not delay any further and let's get straight into this breakdown. So this gameplay showcase starts off exactly where the last one left off. And that's just outside of Hogwarts Castle. And as the camera spins around, we get a stunning look at the surrounding area and lakes of Hogwarts School. Now initially, let's pay attention to the HUD that we can see on the screen. We'll pay a lot of attention to the map as this area exploration part of the video takes place and look at some of the symbols that we can see on the map. But first of all, let's have a look at the spells we currently have equipped. It looks like we have the Summoning Charm Accio equipped at the bottom. We also have this flame symbol, which I presume is going to be Incendio. We have the feather, which I would imagine indicates Wingardium Leviosa. And then we have this symbol on the left. I think potentially this could be Expelliarmus, but I'm not entirely sure at this moment in time. You see our health bar at the bottom, and also some health potions next to it. We have 10 currently equipped, so we can carry at least 10 of these items to heal us during the game. Above that is our ancient magic meter, which is currently empty. To the left-hand side, we have some potions which you can use to power ourselves up, and then obviously on the far left, we have the map. There's a flame symbol just behind our character, which is obviously where we have spawned in at this time. The first thing I noticed of this gameplay footage is how absolutely stunning this area looks. The grass textures, the trees and the lighting are just absolutely stunning. Even the draw distance of the game, look in the distance, you can see these buildings, you can see the light reflecting off of the mountains. Everything just looks perfect. We're also in some new robes we haven't seen before. These are some sort of brown casual robes. They don't seem to have any Hogwarts or Wizarding crests on them. They just seem to be robes that we can wear as we explore the outer world. It's worth noting there seems to be some sort of tree symbol on the back of this. It could just be texture effect, but it looks to be a tree growing up the character's spine. Our character approaches the end of this cliff and then magics his broom to him. The start of the broom is really cool. It gives me wizard staff vibes. At the end of the shaft of the broom, you can see this giant bulbous ball, which looks a bit like some sort of magic staff. And I like the rawness of the sticks at the end of the broom, which shows it is dated compared to the broom we see in the Harry Potter movies. Our character then dives off the cliff down towards this hut that we can see. You can hear the wind rushing past us and it just sounds amazing. The sound design of this game really is impressive. The flight mechanics of this game encourage you to fly low to the floor. If you fly higher in the air, it actually uses up your boost level and you will eventually return down to the bottom. You can see now the HUD has changed at the bottom right. The yellow bar indicates our broom's boost level, and this is how much we can go up in the air or go fast. We also have a health bar. Now I wonder if this is because enemies are able to attack us still while we're in the air, or if we are actually able to just plow into certain objects which will lower our health bar as we move, so we have to be careful where we are flying. As we head down this path, there are a few more symbols at the bottom. There appears to be a cave symbol here, so I think this is probably some sort of dungeon or exploration area that we can go into, potentially underground. And there is this question mark symbol on a piece of paper. I think this is going to be some of the lore pieces that we found throughout from some of the previous videos. As our character continues to fly down the path, there is 2 more symbols that appear. One appears to be a magnifying glass, which to me would symbolize there is something that we can find or some sort of secret in this location. And the other one is a flame symbol. You can see this one is grayed out because we haven't yet found this location. It is worth noting the flue flame symbol does not change colour. I do not think we actually activate it. I don't know if this is because we are on the broom or because we are too far away to activate it, but it does not seem to be activated as we go past. So we're yet to find out if broom flight does allow us to activate flue flames. As you can see, the magnifying glass symbol is to the right now. It does appear on our actual screen, not just on the minimap, but there is also a circular symbol on the floor which indicates the area we are supposed to search in for the secret. There's also several chests that appear. We can actually see one in the water just to the left hand side of the screen here. These are obviously going to hold items and objects that we are collecting throughout the game. Some of these appear to be in these buildings, so I think we can actually explore some of the buildings in these little tiny hamlets. Our character continues up a path and then comes to this location. There's a new symbol on the screen that looks a bit like a leaf. As we approach, we see what I believe is going to be some of the Merlin puzzles. You can see the swirled symbol on the floor that we got from the original trailers that indicate a Merlin puzzle. Around this area there seems to be lots of these little humanoid figures that have these bulbous heads and sort of wooden bodies. I wonder if these are things to look out for if we are following the Merlin quests. If we find these, they may lead us to Merlin locations. On the minimap, you can also see some red dots which indicate enemies on the screen. To the right hand side, you can see what appear to be some sort of wolves over to the right. I'll get into the wolves a bit later on when we come to some of the charms that we can put on our clothing, but wolves do seem to be quite a common enemy because we can put charms to protect us against wolves. They have confirmed during the showcase that we can buy different brooms. These are purely cosmetic looks about the brooms, but we can buy them to allow us to customize the way our broom looks to match our own aesthetic. But we can also buy upgrades that allow us to boost for longer and do different things on the brooms, so it'd be interesting to see what these upgrades are. We have to go to Hogsmeade to purchase these upgrades. To the right hand side along this path there is another Merlin puzzle with the leaf symbol. However, I cannot see anything obvious to suggest that there is a swirl on the floor, so maybe there is different types of puzzles linking to Merlin's path. Now we fly past 2 signposts here. Unfortunately, I cannot make out any of the writing on the first signpost, but when we get to the second one, there is actually a moment where you can see some of the writing on it. To the right hand side, you can see a signpost for Hogwarts and Lower Hogsmeade. This bottom sign here looks like it says Danger Trolls, and the top one looks like it is the name of location, however it is quite difficult to pick out. There also appears to be other signs that are stuck on there recently. There is a symbol at the bottom which also appears like it says something about trolls. Character then continues along the countryside and comes up towards this graveyard, and to the right hand side there is this other symbol. It's quite difficult to make out exactly what it is. It looks like it could be some sort of cave symbol again. However, as we approach, there is a dueling feat. So I think this is a dueling challenge location. We can see 2 challenges that we have to do in this dueling feat. First one is to use a mandrake against an enemy. The second one is to keep an enemy airborne for 10 seconds. I love these little challenges. They just give an extra spark to the combat gameplay. One thing I do love in this flying scene is that we see lots of the NPCs going about their day-to-day work. You can see these people walking down the path here. There's also someone tending this field. This really does have a lived-in feel about the game. As our character lands in this hamlet, there is a crowd of people gathered around this musical performer. He is using what appears to be a normal instrument but playing it magically. He is not actually using it in any way that a muggle would, and it is just floating in front of him. I think it's really interesting to see these different types of performers and these different things that wizards do in their spare time. There's a floating hat in front of him that allows us to tip the player. One thing that I find absolutely insane is the fact that we appear to tip in 10 galleons, which even in Harry's time is a lot of money. As you can see, as our character looks at this cottage on the mini-map, there is a scroll location, and you can see it glowing in front of the building. This will give us some information about this little hut. I really want to know how it got here and how it came to have this tree completely entwined into it. I cannot wait to see how much lore they are going to build in this game. I think it's going to be incredible. We get another signpost at the top of the screen, and this one we can see a couple of these signs a bit more clearly. To the top it says Lower Hogsmeade, again off to the right. To the left is a signpost to the graveyard, and that is the graveyard we just flew past that had the dueling challenge in it. We can see 3 names of towns. You can see to the left hand side there is a Brockborough, to the right is Arranshire, and to the left there is a town called Iron something. As you can see on the minimap, there is lots of symbols around this area. However, the store to the right hand side does not appear to have a symbol on the minimap, so we may have to go looking for these particular stores as we go around, as they do not appear everywhere on the map. As we approach this bar area, you can see there are two interactive items. There is a chair that appears like we can sit down in it. There's also a butterbeer, which we do take a nice swig of. There's also a scroll symbol just to the right hand side here, which will give us some information about this tavern. By this bridge, there is a flue flame location that we can unlock, which will allow us fast travel to here. As we walk closer, it does activate, however, it doesn't tell us the location name. I think potentially the devs have removed it, so we don't know the name of this specific location. Also, to the left-hand side, there is another Merlin puzzle with a swirly location on the floor. Now, this tower ahead of us is a really interesting location, and I actually think we have seen it highlighted previously before. On the overture of the unwritten video, when it highlights the map on the floor, there appears to be a glowing tower slightly further away from the Hogwarts location. And this looks like it could actually be in the perfect location for it. So it'll be interesting to see why this tower is so prominent in that map and why it seems to be quite prominent in this location here. The dev team seem to be playing a lot of emphasis on it as we walk around this location, so I think actually it will have quite a prominent role in the game. As we get to the top of this bridge, we reveal what I lovingly call the Newt case, and this is where we keep our secret magical beasts. And we reveal our Onyx hippogriff, and this is the hippogriff we get through our pre-order bonus. Instantly we can see that mountain travel is not just airborne, and we can actually ride the hippogriff through the ground locations of Hogwarts Legacy. We gain speed and take to the air on the hippogriff, and it just looks incredible. I cannot wait to do this and just explore the locations. As we take to the air, on the left hand side you can see some rocks that are glowing. These are presumably going to be a collectible that we can collect. There's going to be many of them we use for crafting items. Now, as we take flight, also look at the minimap, and there is two enemies that we can see, and we actually do lock onto one of them, and it gives us a bit of information. We can see that these spiders that we've seen throughout the trailers are not breaking law because they are not acromantula. They just appear to be giant spiders of some sort, because the name of them are actually given, and this spider is called a thornback scurrier. And I believe if it was an acromantula, it would be called a thornback acromantula. So I think these are just giant spiders and not acromantula in the game. And it's nice to see that they are not breaking the law that we do know. As our hippogriff glides through this area, you can see the wind rippling through its wings, and it just looks great. As soon as it starts to glide, it just feels so majestic, such a wonderful creature, and I can't wait to explore Hogwarts and the surrounding locations on it. Now, as we're flying over this location, you can see a rail track beneath us. This doesn't appear to hold trains, as there appears to be a cart on it, which would suggest there's going to be some sort of mining location nearby. As you can see behind us, there are some enemies. These are going to be goblins. As we can see further down this field, a few more appear, and we get a better look at them here. Now, as we fly over, we can actually see the symbol appear beneath the hippogriff. This is because they haven't noticed us. We know there is stealth gameplay in the game, so there is also a warning that appears for us below the hippogriff that shows the question mark symbol when an enemy is inquisitive towards our location. This changed to an exclamation mark when they fully have noticed us. You can see the bar builds through a grey, then into a yellow as it gets more and more dire for our situation as they are noticing us. This gives us a clear symbol to get out of the way and hide again. So this also comes up with a dueling challenge to the right, and that is to slow a loyalist assassin. So we get that these goblins are actually loyalists. I think that means they are loyal to Griphook and his cause. It also appears like this location is going to be a higher level location. So we can go to any location irrelevant of our level, but we will actually have to struggle to beat the creatures in certain higher level locations. As we get to a higher level location, you can see the aesthetic completely changes and it gets foggy and all the trees appear to be dead or broken. Now there's a new symbol on the map, and it appears to be some sort of maze, and you can see that there is a doorway or archway ahead of us that we actually would be able to interact with, which looks to be this maze location. Now it'll be interesting to see if we can activate some sort of magic and it works as some sort of portal that allows us to go to some hidden location. I'm really intrigued as to what this location is going to be and what we are going to do inside it. We have another confirmed creature, and that is a Dug Bog. A Dug Bog is a marsh-dwelling magical creature found in Europe and North and South America. It resembles a piece of dead wood while stationary and has finned paws and sharp teeth that it uses to glide through the marshland. We get a new location below us, and that is this animal footprint. I believe it's going to be some sort of high-level beast encounter. I wonder if this is potentially a beast that we may be able to catch and take to the vivarium. We then fly up this hill in towards this windmill, and it just, again, looks absolutely glorious. Everything that they have shown us so far is just stunning and just makes me want to be able to get into this game as soon as possible. We get a wonderful piece of dev magic now, and it is fantastic just to be able to see what different areas look like at different times of our year at Hogwarts. Now, as we can see here, it changes to snow, and everything does look slightly different, but you can tell it's the same location. It just looks incredible. The snow on the ground is very reminiscent of what we get in the UK with a light dusting. It just gives such a great authentic feel to the location, and it really does feel like you are around the locks in Scotland. Again, we can see more Merlin locations as our character flies around this location. There's also a flue flame that has already been activated. Now, a really interesting location on this map is as we approach this broken down fortress here, which instantly looks amazing to search. We also get a new symbol that appears on the map, and that is the ancient magic symbol. Now, what this means, I do not know. Is this a location where we will be able to power up our ancient magic, or is this a location where we'll have to go to follow the ancient magic storyline? I do not know, but it's a location that I definitely want to be able to follow. As you can see in the distance, there appears to be a cave that goes deep into this mountain, which is where the ancient magic symbol is. As we round this corner, there is some of these floating balloons with the star symbols on them. What they are for, we still do not know. However, I think they are going to be some sort of broom race or some sort of flying mount race. But we do not see any symbols that could indicate exactly what they are going to be. As we come out of this canyon, we come back to a darker location, which appears to be a higher area location. There's another beast encounter, another one of these dueling challenges as we approach this graveyard. The symbols do seem to be around graveyards, so potentially it is just indicating a graveyard location, which will obviously have quite a few magical beings. As we fly through these trees, there is another symbol that appears. There is a skull symbol here. This appears to be some sort of dark wizard's camp, as you can see the fireplace below us. We don't really get a good look at any of the enemies, but I think this is going to be the locations where the dark wizards congregate and spend their time out in the wilds. As we are flying through this location, the developers are talking about the day and night cycle. They've confirmed that the day and night cycle will affect how the game looks. Obviously, when it's nighttime, it will be darker, but there will also be less NPCs around. There will also be a lot more artificial lighting by fires and candles. They have also mentioned that some things will only be able to be accessed at certain times of the day, which will be really interesting to see if there are certain secrets that people will not necessarily find straight away because they have not turned up at the right location at the right time. This view is just absolutely fantastic, and we can see Hogwarts in the distance, and the school just looks so impressive just as a main focal point in this surrounding area. You'll be able to see it from most of the locations, and it's just incredible to see as a point of interest to head towards. It's unbelievable. The developers really have just done an absolutely incredible job with this game so far. Finally, the last bit of this gameplay footage that we see of the flying gameplay, we can see another Merlin puzzle on the floor, which appears to be very close to Hogwarts itself. These really do seem to be a lot more numerous than I expected them to be. They are dotted around everywhere, so it'd be really interesting to see how well we can interact with these and what they actually do when we interact with them. We also get a look at a quest marker of this character right at the end of this pier. We can see that there is a marker above his head, and this will give us a quest to be able to do. So there you have it. That was the full breakdown of the first part of the gameplay showcase. Part 2 and 3 will be coming out very soon with the combat and then also the room of requirements. I also am in the middle of making a very interesting theory video based around the origins of our character in this game. I think I can explain why we are late coming to Hogwarts, and I'm really excited to see what you think of this theory. So keep an eye on the channel for this video coming out very soon. It might even come out in between the breakdown videos. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this breakdown. Let me know if I missed anything, and of course I will reply to everyone in the comment section. I am currently on a bit of a backlog, but I will be up to date very soon with all the comments that I reply to. Thank you as always to everyone who watches these videos, and of course thank you to the members of the channel. They really do help the channel out, and I appreciate every single one of you so much. But that is it for this video. I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. And until then, mischief managed.